All right, we got a lot of changes coming March 7th. This is the first time this has happened forever for Social Security since what? 1935. So, never happened. So what's happening? March 7th there, Social Security is making a bunch of changes. They've got rid of a lot of people. They even, before Doge and Elon Musk came in, they were at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. Politicians have been trying to destroy Social Security since 1935 on and off. And, they're trying to give it over to Wall Street. So this is their next plan, is to make it as small as possible so they can drown it in the bathtub, as they used to say. I think they still say that. So what does all this mean for you? So I'm going to give you some tips, tricks, and secrets on how to navigate the system, which was difficult before, but now unfortunately, it's probably going to be about 100 times more difficult for a lot of people out there. And there's going to be a lot of mistakes happen because when you do a major overhaul of anything this large, one of the largest programs in America, stuff is going to happen. Usually bad stuff, unfortunately. And so I'm going to teach you all the tips, tricks, and secrets I learned working on the inside for a few decades. And that way you and your loved ones will at least fare a little bit better than those people that don't know. Okay, so what's going on? March 7th, there's a bunch of stuff happening. One of the things that people are going to have a hard time with is Medicare. Starting next month, they are going to pretty much automate a lot of Medicare applications. So if you're filing for Medicare alone, AI is going to do it. Usually since the invention of Medicare in 1965 by LBJ human beings. When you file an application for Medicare, a human being looks at it and checks it and everything like that and approves it or whatever. Usually Medicare, if you're insured for it, then it gets approved. But now they're going to have AI do it. And one of the big things about that, one of the problems of that, is when you file and you talk to human being, they usually say, wait a second, I notice your work record here that you're working. Do you have health insurance from work? Yeah, I have health insurance work. Is there at least 20 employees at your work? Yeah, okay. Or is your spouse working? Yeah. Do you have health insurance from your spouse's work? Yeah. 20 more employees? Yeah, okay. Then rip up the Medicare application and you don't need it. Go on your way. Come back when you no longer have that creditable coverage, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Save yourself over $2,000 a year. Medicare this year, Part B, is $22.90. But I have a feeling with AI taking over all of that, when AI hallucinates, as they say, there's going to be a lot of people that are paying for Part B that shouldn't be paying for Part B. That's number one, unfortunately. So if we get the information out there to the people that are about to sign up for Medicare and we tell them, hey, wait a second, should you even bother filing online? Because AI is just going to process it, and they're not even going to pay attention that it's, not money to them, and the government wants your $22. And so they're probably just going to go ahead and approve it anyway. So we need to get that information out there. So if you have a friend or family that's about to sign up, and if they really need to sign up, then they really need to sign up. And one of the problems is another Medicare one I'll get into here in a little bit, is that a lot of the offices, so they're rolling out two things. They're calling the National Appointment Scheduling Calendar, so national, and then there's also a National Workload Management System, okay? So these are two different things. I know you don't care about what they're called, but what they are basically is if you called Social Security, the 800 number, they scheduled an appointment. Okay, fine. Since the beginning, 1935, you called and scheduled an appointment. You got an appointment at your local office, and your local office knew, what was going on in your particular state, any type of state supplements or state issues or anything like that. But now they're going to be going to a national routing system. So you could be in Florida and your case is going to be sent to Washington State, to Nebraska, to Kansas or something. And so there's no telling where your case is going to be. And I have a feeling, eventually I think this might be a good thing. Me and a bunch of people that worked at Social Security always said there should be kind of this workload mobility. I think it's a good thing. Eventually, once it's worked out, but until they get all the bugs out, I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes happen. A lot of people are going to be losing their cases. You call up and say, yeah, I filed for this. And where is it? If you call your local office, where is it? Oh yeah, it's John 22 cubicles down. I'll go knock on his cubicle and see what's going on with it. Now, I don't know where it is. Somewhere in the country. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, maybe. So yeah, until they get all the bugs out, I think it's going to be difficult. So we're going to give you some tips, tricks, and secrets on how to do that. Okay, and then for the management part of it, so there's a national workload management, which is a good system. when I was at Social Security, I designed Help Design, one of the paperless systems that Social Security currently uses. But there's workload management system. So if you're currently receiving benefits, you should be okay in case unless something happens, in case you're receiving, retirement benefits, and then you're eligible for spouse benefits, then guess what? You're going to have to go through all this nightmare. If you're receiving retirement benefits and then your spouse or divorced spouse passes away and you're entitled to surviving spouse benefits, then you're going to have to go through all this nightmare. If you become disabled, you need to sign up for Medicare, whatever the case may be. If you or someone, have to go in there and get something done, then you are at the mercy of this new system that is still getting its bugs worked out. Okay, so here's some of the ways you can get around this by going to your local office. But a lot of local offices are sending people away. And I'm going to, with the magic of AI, I am going to show you there's over 1,200 offices in the country. And I'm going to show you who runs every single office in the country. Over 200 offices. I'm going to show you who is responsible for each one of those offices here in a second, so you know who to contact. So if you go to your local office, they're probably going to send you away. They're going to say, yeah, we don't do appointment. We don't take walk-ins anymore. My office, if you stepped your pinky in before 4 o'clock, you got taken care of that day. We took care of you. Now, doesn't matter what time of the day you show up. If you know you don't have an appointment, then they don't want to see it. And here's some of the tips, tricks, and secrets that if you have some type of dire need, so you or someone you know have some type of dire need, you go to the local office and you say, okay, I need my check. I just lost my job. I need my Medicare to start here within the next week. Because I'm over 65 and I was smart and I didn't need Part B because I had health insurance through my work or my spouse's work and all that. I had creditable coverage. So now I'm 67 or 70 or 72 and I just lost that coverage and I need to sign up for Part B because I've got some type of procedure. I need to get medications in the next week or something like that. And if you walk in there and they say, yeah, sorry, we don't take, walk-ins, you have to set up an appointment and your appointment won't be for 2 months. So that's not acceptable. So what you do is you first have to get through the guard, and usually these guards are pretty big. But we had one, my Moy from Samoa, and he was big and gigantic, but he was a big teddy bear. So, hey, what's up, Moy? So there's certain keywords that you can use to get through these big guards, and that is dire need eviction. I need my medication. And here I'm going to show you who runs your local offices. And this is one of the tricks to get in there and get the help you need, is to find these are the guys and gals who run the 1,200 offices, 1,200 plus offices throughout the country. These are the guys and gals. It's obviously over the last few decades, none of these people have done anything to fix Social Security, particularly in terms of what's going to happen here in 83 more checks, is everybody's Social Security is going to be cut. Actually, was it the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, just came out with a new report yesterday, day 4 yesterday, that said, no, it's not in 2033. They said it's 12 months going to 12 months earlier. So this should say only 72 more or 71 more checks, and then your check is going to be cut. And they say 20 by 21%. But this is the numbers I'm using is from the Social Security trustees. So they use Calcula. Their calculations are a little bit different. One says 12 months earlier, but 21%. The other one says 83 months, but 23%. And Social Security Trustees is going to come out with a new report here in about a month or two. And I think I'm definitely going to have to, every single month I take this and I change it by 1 month. And I think when the Social Security Trustees report comes out, I'm going to have to change it by 10 days or so. So that's unfortunate. And why? Because none of these guys did anything for the past 40 years to fix it. And including all the people in the back, your House of Representatives and your senators, those are the people who own your local Social Security office. They are the ones that provide resources. The Social Security employees, don't take it out on them. They, unless they're bad employees, and then you tell somebody they're rude or something, doesn't matter how stressed they are, don't accept people being rude or not helpful. But all offices are inundated. So basically, what the agency has decided to do is, what do they say? Shuffle the deck, tiers the deck chairs on the Titanic. That is the strategy right now, okay? We were already barely above water when the current administration came in. Elon Musk took his chainsaw, relocated thousands of people out of the agency, as we say in the Marine Corps, relocated them. And then everybody said, oh my gosh, there's nobody pick up at the phones. There's nobody at the offices. We can't get help. We're losing our money. We're not getting the right benefits. We're getting wrong question. We're getting incorrect questions when we call. We're having to go to Ed on YouTube to get the correct information, which is completely, that this channel shouldn't even need to be here exists. Unfortunately, we do need to be here. And so in all of that, they said, okay, well, what could we do to pretend like we're kind of doing something and making something more efficient, perhaps? Or then they're shuffling unfortunately, the deck chairs on the Titanic. And what I see as the end goal for this, the end game is they are going to start trying to close down offices again. So they're going to say, okay, we've routed all of this to AI. And, we just don't pick up the phones anyway. And we're going to find people that don't even know what the programs are to answer the calls and maybe outsource them, wherever. And so if we're going to need to do that, we don't need that office in Dallas. They've only got, 50% of, the people coming in as they used to. Yeah. Because nobody can go in. So let's just go ahead and close down that office, and we'll close down that office, and we'll close down that office, close down that office. And then invariably, customer service will get worse, particularly for those particular people in those particular areas. And again, that's the goal, is to attack Social Security, call it a Ponzi scheme, all of the rest of it, which, I mean, if you change what a Ponzi scheme is, you can call it, you can call this a full set of hair, but it ain't. So attack. And so these guys on Wall Street can get it. And so that's kind of the game plan. But people in our community are smarter than that. So if you need something, again, you get by the guards and you say those dire needs. You say, hey, I've got an eviction letter. I need to see somebody. I need to sign up for Medicare, for instance. And if I don't get this done today, I won't be able to get my medications in time or see my doctor and get my surgery or my procedure I need done. If you just lost a spouse and therefore that check was withheld because you just lost your spouse, then you say, hey, I got to be able to pay my rent. I'm going to be homeless if I'm not able to file for survivor benefits. Become disabled. I need to file for disability. It already takes 6 to 9 months to get a disability decision. I want to speak to someone to get that process at least started, okay? So eviction, any type of dire need like this, and mention the guys and gals that own the office. So what you can do is call your politicians. And this is called a congressional, where if you have a case that's pending at Social Security, and it's been pending for a while, then you call your congressperson, the ones that go to D.C., one of your 2 senators or your House of Representatives, and you say, hey, I've got this issue with Social Security. Most of them, I think all of them have on their websites, they have, I need help with a federal agency. So you click on that, you put down your case, what's what you need help with. They don't read it. They just forward. They just say, oh, Social Security, and they just forward it. Social Security, the headquarters in Baltimore, and then Baltimore sends it down to your local. Well, now they're not going to send it to the local office. They're going to send it wherever in the country your case is, and hopefully they get it done. So those type of things. Dire need, congressionals, PR type issues. So if it's like, hey, if I don't get in and get this, that, and the other, then I'm going to contact, the local news or something like that, or contact Ed, or, and then we'll make a big fuss about it, and hopefully you'll get what you need to get. All right, so this is what we got coming. Yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of people not going to be hurting. So let's see what we can do to at least help some people in those situations today. Yeah, don't call. Yeah, don't forget, call people. Let's see. Maria is a divorced 59 years old woman, married 9 years, 8 months, qualified to collect survivor benefits. Ex passed 35 years old in 2007. No. Because you put down there divorced. If so, you were divorced from that person. I've had this happen before. It's like divorced, and okay, you were married a second time, and then you got divorced, and that's what you mean by divorced. Then we need to ask more questions. But if you divorce from that particular person, then no, you had to be married to that person for 10 years. So this is kind of the insider things that AI just doesn't know. Unfortunately, you had to be married to the person for 10 years if it's a divorce type situation. If you were married to that person when they passed away, then you just had to be married to that person for at least 9 months. So, and yeah, some of our regular viewers come in here says, yeah, the 10-year requirement is strict for divorce spouse benefits unless they're caring for a deceased child. Yes. If it's called child in care, great, Danny. They has a PhD in Social Security. If you are caring for a deceased spouse's child and that child is under the age of 16 or became disabled before the age of 22, that's called child in care benefits. And yeah, you would be able to get benefits in that particular case. But other than that, unfortunately, no. All right, so let's see here. We've got some video questions. Let's see what we got. Some people sent in some questions. Hello. Hi, Dr. Ware. My name is John. I am 62. I'll be 63 in another 2 months. So I tried to go on your benefit calculator for retirement calculator, and this calendar pops up and you have to go backwards through the calendar, and I'm 62. It's going to take me all day to backtrack all the way back to then. Is there another way to do it where I can enter my actual birth date and speed the process up? Okay, yeah. I don't know about all day. But yeah, he's talking about the app we have. Yeah, you can go online. So on to my website, mygovexpert.com, and that what he's talking about. And if you go to mygovexpert.com, click on the little Social Security, click on retirement, and then it has when to start. And you can click the when to start calculator. And yeah, it's don't have to go anything. You just type in, let's say 19. What you say? 1959, and there you go. And you just put in your PIA. Let's say your PIA is $1,500. That's your benefit at your full retirement age. And then it'll give you right there. It gives you a couple of scenarios of, okay, what if I file at 63 versus filing at 67? How much is that going to be? What's the break-even point there? And I give you a nice little graph there. And you can even throw a couple of bucks to support the whole thing. But yeah, you just put it right in there. Maybe you're probably talking about the app. I'll check out the app pipe part, but the app, if you're doing it on your phone or something like that. But if you go onto the actual website, it's pretty easy there.